So, ladies and gentlemen, Supervisor Brian Pacheco.
Well, Nathan, those that know me know the water's the least of your worries. I run a tight ship, and when I'm supposed to go on, man, we're going on at that time. So I tell people the only thing I can't make more of is time. So I like to be punctual, because as a businessman, I know where time is valuable, and I like to get everyone out of here a little bit after 1, because we do have a real job. Good afternoon, and welcome to the Fresno Chamber of Commerce State of the County Luncheon. I am Brian Pacheco, Chairman of the Fresno County Board of Supervisors, and it's my pleasure to address you this afternoon on the many issues facing our county. I would like to begin by thanking the Fresno Chamber of Commerce for hosting this event today, although it has caused some confusion. I can't tell you the number of phone calls I've received asking to buy tickets to my fundraiser today. I had to explain to them that this is a chamber event and I'm just a featured speaker. But for those of you wondering, my actual event's on November 9th in Kerman, and I'll be sure to add all of you to my guest list. But seriously though, the Fresno Chamber of Commerce is an active organization hosting many events throughout the year with the intent to improve our community and our business climate. I am a member, and if you are not, you should consider becoming one. And I also want to thank them for being open to the idea of having a lunch rather than the traditional breakfast. As many of you know, I am a dairyman, and I start every day at 5 a.m. So getting up's not a problem for me, but I like to be with my cows until about 8 every day. The mornings are hectic enough for all of us, getting the kids to school and driving to work. So why add another event to our morning schedule and increase our stress level? So I suggested, hey, let's do a lunch. And I was a little concerned about going against the norm because, you know, the county, it's just not as exciting as our friends across the street. No awards today, no keys to the county will be given out. Just a few words from the chairman, and how exciting is that? Everyone knows Buddy's our only chance of entertainment, and he was last year's speaker. Oh well, from today's attendance, it looked like many of you agreed with me that lunch would be okay, and I appreciate your attendance. Joining me here today on my table is my predecessor, Supervisor Phil Larson, who led us in the invocation, and he's accompanied by his wife, Joyce. And Phil recently celebrated his 84th birthday. Many times in life, we wait until it's too late to tell someone how we really feel, and I don't want to make that mistake. I've known Phil since I was a young boy. He is one of the pillars of our community of Kerman, and when he served as supervisor, he was highly regarded for his service to the county. Phil Larson is the definition of integrity, and I can tell you this, next to my parents, he's my role model and my mentor. And please join me and give him a round of applause. Also with me here today are my parents, Jerry and Arlene Pacheco, my wife Alina, who organizes my events, like my event on the 9th. Make sure you see her for those November tickets. And as elected officials, we're only as good as our staff. My chief of staff, Kathy Burrows, and my other assistant, Kelly Bourbon, are with me. And also, thank you. And also joining me at my table is Fresno Mayor Lee Brand. And this might be a first. Thank you, Mayor. Over the past decade, the two governing bodies have had a strained relationship at best. When our board began the year with the traditional rotation of the chair, I gave a nice speech and outlined the goals and themes of the year, and one of my goals was to improve the county's relationship with the city of Fresno. As fate would have it, Fresno's newly elected mayor had the same goal. We soon set up an ad hoc committee to lay the framework of having our two governing bodies have a formal meeting and to discuss on an ongoing basis how we could best work together for the benefit of everyone we serve. And I believe that goal has been achieved. Our joint meeting was a success, but the real benefit of the meeting is a continuation of us continuing to meet on a regular basis to keep the lines of communication open between the county and the city. And I just want to take a minute to talk about the mayor. When the mayor was elected, his goal was he wanted 10,000 jobs by the end of his first term. And I can tell you in our meetings, I think in less than 9 months' time, he's already halfway to his goal. And how's that for leadership to our mayor? So let's give him a round of applause. And I would like to thank, in addition to the mayor, Council President Clint Olivier, Councilman Paul Capriolio, and Councilwoman Esmeralda Soria for meeting with Supervisor Mendez and I in these meetings. And in addition, the mayor's chief of staff, Tim Orman, and new city manager, Wilma Conshetner, along with county CAO, Jean Rousseau, have been instrumental in their willingness to work together with one another. And that's what it takes as a team. And I appreciate everyone's effort to get along. The theme of my speech at our chair rotation was, "Today is a new day." And I based this thought on the fact that just 2 years earlier, for the first time in nearly 2 decades, 2 new supervisors were sworn in during the same election year, Buddy Mendez and myself, 2 farm boys from the cities of Riverdale and Kerman. While we had an impact, in just another 2 short years, 2 more would be sworn into the board, Sal Quintero and Nathan Magsade. They were big city guys from Fresno and Clovis. To top it off, our most senior member, Andres Borges, had only 2 years more experience than Supervisor Mendez and I. I've really come to appreciate Supervisor Borges. He's the only guy I know to raise $500,000 and still not announce he's officially running for the office. But seriously, he's a good colleague, and I wish him and his family much success in the future. In terms of the 2 new guys, they bring years of council experience to the board and have hit the ground running. Sal Quintero is one of the nicest human beings you will ever meet. While we may not agree on every issue, he's always respectful and a man of his word, and I appreciate you, Sal. Yeah. And Nathan Magsade, he's the most energetic person I've ever met, and he's like the Energizer Bunny. That guy just keeps going and going and going. He's a very knowledgeable, and he's a good team player. And while I look like the youngest member of the board, Nathan's actually the youngest. Ironically, he serves on the retirement board. So for those county employees that are getting close to retirement, I can assure you your money's in good hands because Nathan pays attention to details. But if you have any suggestions, concerns, or complaints, his number is 600-5000. Thanks, Nathan. Our most senior member of the board, by age, is Supervisor Buddy Mendez. He has a lot of side names: Uncle Buddy, Mr. Gavel, the human quote machine. But my favorite is my good friend. We're often seen together and have lunch nearly every Monday. From day one, we've done our board briefings together, and we have similar points of view. He's an expert on water, and the reason I enjoy doing this job so much. Thank you, buddy. Hopefully, you've witnessed this year that the board operates as a team. We may fight for our districts with great passion, but we're respectful of one another and of those who come before us. Politics is put aside, and we accomplish the will of the people. Today, for the first time, a pamphlet to highlight the county's upcoming budget has been provided. While I will not bore you with the details that only an accountant would enjoy, I will highlight some important points. First, our 2017-18 budget is $3.01 billion. This is an all-time high, and it's balanced. In today's difficult financial environment, that's an accomplishment in and of itself. Second, it increases our county's reserves by 1/3, or $7 million. It also pays down existing debt. In addition, and my favorite, it sets aside funds for our badly needed capital improvements. I like to build things. Furthermore, we will add new positions and continue to increase the salaries to be competitive in the marketplace. If you want more details, you're welcome to follow our budget meeting next week. As part of our New Day theme, I do want to do something that rarely gets done in today's self-promotion environment. I don't want to stand up here and just talk about the accomplishments of the board. When I was in college, a professor once told my business class that the smartest CEO surrounds himself with smarter people. So today, I want to highlight our county staff and their accomplishments. Halfway through my first year on the board with Supervisor Mendez, the county CAO announced that he would be retiring by the end of the year. The board conducted a national search and hired Gene Rousseau. He's a numbers guy. Like the board, he's new, always willing to listen, open to new ideas, and most importantly, he gets things done. He's assembled a good team, and we're very proud of the CAO's office. On an island all to herself is our board clerk, Bernice Seidel. She's the gatekeeper to the board. She's a hardworking, very dedicated member of our team, and the board appreciates everything she and her staff do on the board's behalf. Like a family, we do not get to choose all of our members. However, as a county, we're very fortunate that the voters have given our board some good people to work with. In alphabetical order by department, Paul Dictos, our assessor recorder. Whether you like him or not, Paul broke the glass ceiling with the appointment of the first woman to the position of assistant assessor recorder. And I also give him a lot of grief for the fact that no one can get a piece of paper from his office without it being in a blue folder with his name printed in gold on it. Yeah. As a part of our capital improvement projects, the assessor recorder will be moving to a new office after the first of the year with plenty of public parking. On a side note, I have plans for his soon-to-be vacated space on the Hall of Records. Oscar Garcia, our auditor, controller, tax collector. Again, like the board and our CAO, he's new to the job. When the vacancy occurred this past year, Supervisor Mendez and I were on the committee to fill this vacancy. This is a very important position that the county's fiscal health relies upon. Oscar has already proven his worth by cleaning up the books. Oscar discovered $39 million in one-time money that the board will be using to fund the various projects that I will continue to outline in my speech. He's up for election this year, and I hope the voters will reaffirm the trust and confidence that Supervisor Mendez and along with the entire board have placed with him. Good job, Oscar. Brandy Orth, our county clerk and register of voters, many accomplishments. She's remodeled the clerk's services office for improved customer service, implemented a new e-filing financial program, and most importantly, has conducted our elections without any issues. We get our results in a timely fashion. Ask Tulare County how important that is. Yeah. Lisa Smidkamp, the District Attorney Public Administrator. I do not believe anyone in this room does not know her. She is a force of nature. In her first term, she has formed new units such as animal cruelty, public integrity, major fraud, and truancy. She is a champion of human trafficking. Like the board, she's willing to try new things like the drug court and the Veterans Treatment Court. While the job of public administrator is not her primary role, she uncovered the theft of public property and turned those individuals over for prosecution. As I stated in my swearing-in speech at the beginning of the year, it is the board's goal as a part of our capital improvements project to get her department into a new professional office space, and I believe we're really close to making this a reality. Keep the faith, Lisa. We're almost there. Yeah. Margaret Mims, the Sharon of Coroner. Again, I don't believe that anyone in this room does not know her. Since my time on the board in 2015, she's hired 177 correctional officers, 98 deputy sheriffs, 21 dispatchers, and 29 civilians. With the board's help, she updated her patrol fleet, and we are expecting the arrival of our new helicopter to replace Eagle One. Unfortunately, her department has become an expert in homeless camp cleanups. Ask our friends in the city how important it is to do this right and not get sued in the process. Lastly, she's streamlined the CCW process. The Sheriff's Department will also be getting a new substation in the near future. And in addition, groundbreaking for the long-awaited new jail will actually take place after the first of the year. And I have a pen with no ink to prove it after all the forms I had to sign last week. Good job, Sheriff. And while this next person does not answer to the Board of Supervisors, he is an elected county official and works closely with our board, and that is Jim Yovino, Superintendent of Schools. He's a champion for all our students. And as a former school board member, I had the pleasure to work with him for many years. And since we're on the topic of education, how about those Bulldogs in the top 20 ranking? Congratulations, President Castro. All right, back to the county. There is a human side to the county. We employ over 7,000 people that implement the policies of the board, keep us safe, and carry out the mandates of the state and federal government. Again, on a larger scale, we are only as good as the people who work for us. Our county has a talented team of 13 non-elected department heads that keeps everything running. Again, in alphabetical order by department. Agriculture is led by Les Wright. Ag's the engine that makes our county go. Les's department is very important in assisting our farmers, their accomplishment of the task of feeding and clothing the world. Behavioral health is led by Dewan Utek. This department is always in motion and on the cutting edge. Just last week, it was announced that a new coordinated crisis response program was unveiled in the metropolitan Fresno and Clovis. This is a partnership between law enforcement and mental health clinicians to address the mental health crisis. This has the potential to be a game changer and is the result of collaborating with Bitwise using a map point tracking software that they developed. We have also opened a 16-bed adolescent psychiatric health facility so that our troubled youth do not have to seek treatment out of the county anymore. The department has also added 15 rural clinicians and created a county-wide suicide prevention plan. In addition, the department is currently building a 16-bed adult crisis residential treatment facility. We're not just talking about issues. Dewan's taking action and getting things done. Good luck to you, Dewan. Child Support Services is led by Carrie Gilbert. This is not an attention-grabbing department, but they provide an important service. Last year alone, they distributed $87 million in child support and to continue to rank in the top 3 in the state for cost effectiveness. Congratulations to Carrie and her staff. County Council is led by Dan Cedarboard. Dan leads a very competent group of attorneys. The board and our county staff constantly seek his advice to keep us on the right path. In my first meeting with Dan, I told him, hey, let's get one thing straight from the get-go here. It's your job to keep me and the members of the board out of trouble. Within the first year, I was personally named in a lawsuit against the county, so much for my little talk. Although I am happy to report the lawsuit was dropped a short time later. However, I now tell a lawyer joke at least once a month in closed session to keep him on his toes. Human Resources is led by Paul Neerland. Paul is another new hire that was promoted from within. He was given the charge to change the culture of employee negotiations. In addition to labor relations, he oversees all employee benefits and is in charge of recruitment. As an extension of the board, Paul has developed a reputation for being a straight shooter and is always willing to listen. And we appreciate everything you do, Paul. Internal Services is led by Robert Bash. This is one of the most complex departments in the county. They're responsible for property management and acquisitions, security, technology, purchasing, and fleet services. With the board's emphasis on capital projects, this department will continue to be very busy in the future. Library is led by Kelly Landano. Kelly also was promoted from within and is the current board's newest department head. The library is proud of their new Digibus mobile classroom. The Digibus partnered with local organizations to identify rural, low-income sites to provide instruction to digital literacy and an improvement of job skills. The library is currently working on new libraries in Clovis, Reedley, and my personal favorite, Highway City. Probation for a few more weeks is led by Rick Chavez. Rick will be retiring effective October 6th. The board will work with the judges to find a replacement, and I want to take this opportunity to thank Rick for his many years of public service. Thank you, Rick. Public Defender is led by Elizabeth Diaz. This year, the department celebrated its 50th anniversary of delivering services to the indigent of Fresno County. As mentioned earlier with the DA, the department collaborated with the Superior Court and other justice partners in establishing the Veterans Treatment Court and Misdemeanor Drug Court to help make our court system more efficient. Public health is led by Dave Palmaville, and I could take 15 minutes alone discussing the many aspects of this department. Ambulance service, tree mortality, mosquitoes and the Zika virus, unsafe food vendors, lead poisoning, jail medical services, infant health, water quality, and many, many, many more. The one item I would like to focus on today is animal control. The Fresno Humane Animal Services, led by Brenda Mitchell, is a star of the county. Euthanasia rates have dropped from over 80% to less than 15%. And they're working out of the old county morgue in very poor conditions, but help is on the way. The board is committed to building a new facility as part of our capital improvement project. So hang in there a few more months, if not a year. Public Works and Planning is led by Stephen White, another new department head. We actually stole him from the city of Clovis. Most people think of Public Works as repairing and maintaining the county's 3,500 miles of road, but there's much more to this department. The department oversees all of the building permits for the county. They are responsible for all zoning and land use matters, maintaining our county parks, operating the county's landfill, and their newest responsibility, coordinating the county's effort to work with numerous water and land use agencies to form groundwater sustainability agencies covering the 3 groundwater subbasins that underlie Fresno County, also known as SGMA. SGMA is not just an ag issue. Every city in the valley will be impacted by this new state law. Retirement is led by Dawn Kindig. Dawn is also a unique department in that this department is governed by its own board. Everyone who has ever worked for the county wants this department to do well. Again, Supervisor Magsig's phone number, 600-5000. And thanks to the high-speed rail, they will also be moving into a new building. And lastly, we have the Department of Social Services led by Delfino Nera. This department alone has over 2,600 employees in 45 locations throughout the county. This department assists adults, children, and families to achieve health, safety, and self-sufficiency through a diverse range of programs and partnerships. Rumor has it that they too might be getting a new office location. Wow. As the average residents of the county, I think we often take for granted all the departments and their various functions and what they do on our behalf every day. As members of the board, we are expected to be experts on a wide variety of topics and issues that affect people's daily lives. The diversity and complexity of issues that we deal with on a daily basis, I believe, would surprise most people. I can't tell you how many times I've been asked, what do you do as a supervisor? The question should be, what don't you do as a supervisor? We usually only notice things when there are problems. And while the county certainly has its challenges, there are a lot of good things happening every day. That is why the Board of Supervisors is rarely in the news. Well, that and the fact that the Fresno Bee reassigned our reporter to other duties. We just go about our day doing the work of the people. I hope this gives you a better understanding of what the Board of Supervisors oversees and the many accomplishments of our employees. Again, I'd like to thank the Chamber for organizing this event and all of you for coming today. I'd also like to thank Mayor Brand for attending. Today is a new day for the county and for all of you as well. Thank you.